You're looking like really shit, mate. What time did you wake up this morning?
Well, I am never going to say that I'm jet lagged because I believe being jet lagged is for the weak. With that being said, I was awake at 1 a.m. this morning, and I was wide awake.
As in, time to get up wide awake.
Yeah, but not jet lag. You know, I don't.
No, of course not.
That shit. No.
Of course.
Anyway,
jet lag is wimps, isn't it?
Exactly. It's not for me. It's not for a man as, hard.
A man, a real man. Real men don't get jet lag. So I didn't get jet lag when I went to Australia in the early 90s. I didn't wake up at like 3 a.m, wide awake. What the fuck do I do now? That wasn't
You're a real man.
That's another man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a real man.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Doesn't happen to us. So my master plan was take some melatonin to fall back asleep because you can get it over the counter here. And I had some in my bag already. So I popped one pill. I can't remember the dosage. And I slept in until 1:30
PM.
PM.
Or AM. Right.
PM.
So you're now locked in this fucking cycle of stupid sleeping hours.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to take another melatonin this evening because there's no way I'm going to be able to fall asleep tonight without it. And I woke up with like all in a daze thinking, shit, half my work day's gone. By the time I'd worked out and done Toby's workouts and whatnot, it was time for me to do client calls. So I've done the precise sum of fuck all.
So just a normal day for you then, really?
Just a normal day. See, it's the privilege of being a CEO. You get paid all the money.
Yeah, I suppose so. Fucking hell. Yeah, I sleep really well, funnily enough. I sometimes get restless legs and a bit of sciatica. That's my fucking age, that is. But other than that, I sleep like really well. And now, and this is really quite sad, it's kind of a thing about old people who tend to wake up early. That's what we do. And I find myself waking up, it's just before the alarm. And sometimes I think, I could go back to sleep now. But then I think, I couldn't actually. Sometimes I'll fucking get up and do my cardio, you know?
I sleep like I'm dead. And a big reason for that is using an eye mask. It sounds really gay, really wanky. But using an eye mask, Jesus Christ, that's been the biggest upgrade to my sleep.
I sleep really well. I don't sleep deeply. I mean, I'm a light sleeper, as in I wake up very quickly and easily. I remember when the kids were young, when they'd fall out of bed in the night, and I'd almost be there to catch them before they hit the floor. I was out of bed so quickly. Obviously, that's an exaggeration, but not much of one. No. But anyway, crack on with the podcast.
You've got something to say about it?
Well, it kind of follows on. Yeah, well, it kind of follows on from the arse kicking I gave the lady in the community call yesterday. It's unfair. I'm not going to name her because it would be unfair, because she just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. She was the one who stood up as a target because she was at that point representative of so many business owners I see. And when I say so many, I mean the vast majority. And the quote I shall start with is from Earl Nightingale, who was quoting Rollo May. Or kind of paraphrasing Rollo May. And he said, "The opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice. It is conformity. And there you have the trouble today. It's conformity. People acting like everyone else without knowing why, without knowing where they're going." And that was Earl Nightingale probably at least 30 years ago, possibly when he died in 87, so clearly it was before he died. In fact, it was in The Strangest Secret. So that would be, 1946? Just after the war? 56 or something? It's a long time ago. It's probably the best part of 70 years ago, 80 years or something like that. And it was as true then as it is today, and it's probably been true for as long as we've been human. And I guess when we evolved, there were reasons for us to evolve in that way. Safety in numbers, which is no longer applicable. in most circumstances, most of the time. So you get people on LinkedIn, for instance. So we use LinkedIn because it's the most common business platform, but it applies to the rest as well. They want to market themselves. So what do? They look around at what everyone else is doing, and they kind of copy them. And they realize that they do know, because they say it. They do know, well, I've got to stand out. I've got to be different somehow. So how do I do that? Well, then they've got these competing desires. One, the desire to be different and stand out, but then this overwhelming desire and pressure, even if they deny it and can't articulate it, this need to conform. They're being squeezed between them. So they'll do something a little bit different. And I think the default is to grow your personal brand by being authentic. Because if you're authentic, because we've all got different personalities, hey, I will stand out because I'm different. But it's not needle-moving stuff. It's just fucking ripples. Ripples on the surface of their mediocrity. That's what it is. They're expressing cowardice. And part of it as well is it's ego. What will people think of me if I do something very different? All right. So when they think I've got to stand out, they know they should be doing something exceptional to stand out. All right. But what if it fails? What if people laugh at me because I'm standing out in this way? I'm doing something different. And then what if it fails? Well, what they don't realize is failure is the quickest way to success. Let's use Elon Musk as a good example. Now, I don't agree with everything he says and does, but in many ways, I'm 100% in agreement with what he says and does. Such as, he's a free speech absolutist, and so am I. There's no question about it. Say what the fuck you like. If you don't like it, don't listen to it. And say what you like back to it. It doesn't matter, you know? I can't agree more with Elon Musk on that. I'm a free speech absolutist. But the way he's building, and let's use something really big, not Tesla, which is the world's biggest certainly the highest market capitalization anyway. It's the most valuable car manufacturer, which is just staggered me when I learned that the other day. Let's use SpaceX, because SpaceX is probably the biggest, most far-reaching, most ambitious plan anyone is putting into practice. Because as you said the other day on the call, this is not about Elon Musk putting people on Mars for his ego. This is about Elon Musk creating a second fucking home for humanity. And it won't happen in our lifetime. Certainly not mine, probably not his. Possibly yours, but probably not yours either. Maybe our grandchildren, your grandchildren, will see permanent settlements on Mars. Possibly, I don't know. Whatever. And you think about the sheer magnitude of what he's trying to do. And he had to start from scratch. Building rockets from scratch. Okay, you've got the theory of how rockets work from von Braun, but basically he's starting from a blank piece of paper. Well, the way he's done it is fucking incredible. Okay, he basically creates a rocket ship and it gets 10 feet off the ground and fucking blows up. And all these fucking woke lefties go, ha ha ha, Elon Musk has failed. No, he hasn't. He's got a rocket ship 10 feet off the ground. You haven't. But what they do is they learn, why did this rocket ship blow up at 10 feet off the ground? Okay, let's fix that problem. We don't know what's going to happen next at 1,000 feet above the ground, or when the first stage separates in the troposphere or wherever it is. Let's get it that far. So the next rocket gets up into the stratosphere, say. Separate the stages. Oh, shit, it's blown up again. Okay, well, let's find out why it blew up. Let's fix that. So the third time, it goes even higher. Well, he's basically failing his way to success. And that sounds really wanky. And it is really wanky, to be fair. It's the kind of thing a fucking coach would say to you. Some glassy-eyed life coach. But regardless of that, it's true. Elon Musk has failed his way to success with SpaceX. All right? So the next thing is, and he's got to be a little bit careful because you can't really take that approach when you've got live astronauts in the capsule. So they'll do it with dummies and things. But, the principle will still be the same. He failed his way to success. And we as business owners should be taking the same approach because in concept, we've got the same stepwise improvements possible. We've got the same modularity. First thing you can do is you test your lead generation. And you can do that in the absence of everything else. You can just do whatever you're doing already to run your business, no matter how good or bad it's going. You can still do that and just test new lead generation. And it'll fail at first, probably. But once you fix that, you can then go on to your qualification process, your triage. And once you've done that, you get onto the sales process. And then you'll get lots of no's and lots of time wasters. But then you fix that. And at the end of it, you failed your way to success. But at every step, you are failing. At every step, you're going to get people laughing at you going, oh, ha, ha, I told you it wouldn't work. You should be doing lots of social media like I'm doing. I mean, if you doubt any of this, just look at what happens when people express a contrary opinion on social media. The way the fucking echo chamber jumps in, the way the feeding frenzy starts. It's like the crabs in the bucket, isn't it? You know? They're not actually trying to pull the other crabs down. They're all just trying to climb over each other. That's a good metaphor, even though it's completely fucking wrong. It's a good metaphor. The crabs in the bucket, they're pulling everyone down to keep everyone in the bucket. If I can't be different, no one else is going to be different. If I can't have the girl, no one's going to have her, that kind of thing, you know? It's just fucking mind-blowing. And people, even when they see it in action with people like Elon Musk, they still won't do it themselves. I mean, I just saying to you before we started, this very morning, I ordered 26 toy dog turds. And I'm going to send them to people in the post. And I've got a feeling that a lot of people are going to object to it and say how unprofessional it is. I don't care. If I get one client from it, it'll be a success. If I don't get any clients from it, I get 25 people say, or 24 because there's 24 of them, 24 people say, that's disgusting, never speak to me again. I've learned something. Sending dog turds through the post is a bad idea. I don't care either way. I have no emotional attachment to whichever result that is. Obviously, I would like it to be successful in the sense that I get clients from it. But if I don't, then I know not to do that again. And it's cost me 25 quid for the turds, probably another 50 for the stamps, say look at 75, under 100 quid to do a test of a mailing, which could be incredibly successful, but also it could just leave me looking even more of a dickhead than I am already, but I do already. But people won't do that. They start small and safe, and they shouldn't.
You're
I didn't think
fan
like
of
a coach. Am I? Hey, form follows function, mate.
Fail our way to success.
Form follows function.
I never knew.
But they do. They start small. There is no such thing as failure, only feedback. There is, they start small and safe. As Earl Nightingale, I mean, I love Earl Nightingale. I mean, I could quote him all fucking day long. Another thing he said, again, I'm paraphrasing. He said, many a pilot has gone to a fiery death in the comfortable familiarity of the cockpit rather than face the uncertainty of the parachute. I mean, it's true. Yeah, the parachute might not open. You might land in shark-infested waters. But the fact is, if you stay in that cockpit, you are going to die. You know? But it's comfortable, isn't it? It's safe, it's familiar. Well, how good a metaphor is that for social media? Social media is clearly not working for most people now. It's just not. There are people doing well with it, and those who are doing well with it tend to be doing traditional marketing using social media platforms as a platform. They find their people on social media, same as we do. Sales Navigator is one of our biggest tools. But then they engage with them differently. They use the messaging, but they engage with them in a different way and get them off the platform as quickly as they can. Okay? Well, most people don't do that. Most people are using social media to find people and then to interact in a social media type way using the tools social media platforms provide. And it's not working. It's clearly not working. Everyone's saying it's not working. Everyone's agreeing it's not working like it used to. Everyone knows it's getting harder. Paid advertising too. But they're still doing it. Why? Because it's safe and comfortable. What's the mantra? Be more consistent. Give it time. How much fucking time do you need? I saw one guy, right, doing it. He said, I've been doing this for a year. I've followed all the gurus. I've done everything the way I'm supposed to do it for a year. I haven't got a single client from it. You know what responses he got? Flatline. Apart from me, I felt sorry for the guy. So I did a critique of his website and some of his posts and said, this is why it's not working for you. You know what he did? He called me a bully and then blocked me. You can't help these people, even for free.
It's a really wanky analogy because everyone does use it, but it's top of mind because I watched it on the flight over here. But everyone's plugged into the matrix and they don't realize it. Interestingly, to build upon what you've just been saying, there's a very popular business guru who has been preaching the social media content wheel, and they like to parade their vanity metrics, impressions, followers, this, that, and the other. And this person's very wealthy. So, people listen to it. There's kudos there. And they released something the other day telling a story about how they met a business owner, very small business owner. It's, I think, a 3-person company. And they had only a few thousand, very low number, less than 10,000, closer to 1,000, I believe, a few thousand followers. Yet they were making more than £1 million profit take home each year. And this person reviewed their vanity metrics, the followers, the impressions, this, that, and the other. And each post barely got any likes, barely got any reach, barely got any impressions. Yet they were still making money in sales. And that shattered their illusion of social media, because he was like, there's this person that bucks everything that I believed in. They are getting a few hundred impressions, a handful of likes on each post, yet they are making sales. And the reason this person was making sales is they were following proper marketing principles. They had one consistent message to one person, and there was always a call to action. And the conclusion of this piece of content that they put out is that vanity metrics don't matter. And it was like, well, fuck, I mean, all you've done is speak about vanity metrics for the last year.
But to be fair to him or her, he or she had the courage to do that.
Yes, and that's remarkable.
And publicly. That is, I mean, I would like to shake his or her hand, because most people won't do that. What they would do is they would double down on their bollocks and make an excuse why this person's an outlier. Yeah, and so good for him or her.
It's funny watching this person come full circle, because they historically have come from the direct response marketing world and ventured into this world of social media fame and brand and this, that, and the other, but their wealth was built in direct response. So to watch them come full circle and to find someone who is abided by direct response principles, ignoring any and all vanity metrics, is...
You mean like we do?
Yes. It's impressive to watch. And yeah, you are right. They deserve kudos for owning up to it and doing it publicly. The frustrating part is the amount of people that I speak to that have been following this individual's content plan and strategy as a main objection to our methods. When we say, no, you don't look at any of that. That shit doesn't matter. You don't need millions of followers. You barely need any if you believe marketing exists outside of the online world. If that's your primary and chosen route to market, those metrics don't matter. You write for that one person. Yeah, but if I can triple my follower count,
God, yeah. But the thing is, they don't seem to understand the only way to triple your follower count, say, is to post stuff people are interested in engaging with. And that's almost never anything to do with the problems you solve. It's just stuff like national service. There's a latest one, isn't it? The election, the high-risk anus being out in the rain, that kind of conversation. The thing on the ban on puberty blockers in the UK now, which is a fucking great thing. It seems to be the house of fucking transsexual cards is now collapsing. Don't get me wrong, I've got nothing against trans people, but I've got a lot against child abuse. That kind of thing.
It was always the vocal minority.
Yes, but it seems it just does my fucking head in. It really does. How they don't seem to realise that the popular, the contentious, the topics that generate more heat than light have nothing to do with business, unless you're selling that kind of service. I mean, there are some people So if you're an influencer selling how to become an influencer shit, yeah, that stuff will work all day long. Of course it will. But it's like gender studies. The only reason you exist is to make more fucking gender studies lecturers. There's no other fucking use for it on the planet. And there's a few other kind of niche industries. Like one friend of mine, a client, she writes CVs. Well, most people who don't own their own businesses need a CV. So it's legit for her. It works. She gets lots of business because she talks about stuff like her favourite ice cream and things like that. She's an influencer in her own little world. That's fine. But most of us aren't like that. And we should never base policy on a few edge cases, which is what we're doing if we say, well, it works for her. I can sell my fucking bricklaying services doing the same thing. You probably can't actually, mate. Because not many people need bricklaying.
Yeah. Yeah. People forget. And it's easy to do so. That social media is merely a channel of communication. It is not a panacea. It is not a new profound thing that changes the way that we operate as business owners or as human individuals.
Human beings. You know what it is, social media? Social media is basically the school playground. Because that's how people fucking behave on it. There's a guy I know, he's on our hit list. He's an ex-client of mine, and some clients of ours are also clients of his. And he built a massive following on Instagram, and he's been teaching people to do the same thing. And I've said all along, please don't. I know he's a nice guy, and he's a clever guy, and he's been very successful. But if you take his advice, this is how I built my Instagram 8 years ago. This is how you do it today. You will fail. I'm guaranteeing you that. And of course, that fails. But it gets even funnier. This guy has been selling himself as a kind of business to consumer life coach type person. You know, let's fix your life. And just in the same way as that other guy we know, we said, look, if you get your clients trying to do this or in that place, they're going to be shit clients. He's finally found that. So he, like that other guy we know, is switching back to coaching and mentoring business owners, because your average twonk who will buy how to become a life coach stuff is bored, frustrated, generally not very clever, doesn't have any money, and isn't, even if they're willing to spend some money, they're not willing to put the work in, because they see you up there and they want to be you. They don't realise there's a fucking mountain to climb to get there. So anyway, he's getting shitty clients. He was getting shitty clients, which is why he's on our fucking hit list.
Yeah.
You know the guy.
Of course I do. Of course I do.
Well, you know both of the guys I'm talking about.
I do.
Anyway, we need to wrap this up because I've got a call with, funnily enough, my coach in a minute. She's a cracker. She's a good one.
She is. I put something in the Renegades group, and I know that the vast majority of people that listen to this are already in our world. This isn't a acquisition channel for us. It is very much for people that have become aware of us in other ways and typically have bought our books. It's almost like this is our
fan club.
Yeah, it's fact. What's the name of the thing that preachers preach from? Pulpit. They stand behind it. What?
Pulpit.
Pulpit. This is our pulpit. This is our pulpit. I put something in the group the other day, going into a little bit of detail about this death of social media that many seem to be experiencing. So if you haven't read that, go read it.
Read it.
If you're not part of the Renegades group and you want to be part of the club, there's people in there doing all sorts of cool shit. We talk about, should we send packets of peanuts in the post? We had a philosophical discussion about that. We spoke about alternatives such as sending bollocks as stress balls. We've got people getting data, finding prospects from ChatGPT and other alternative sources. All in all, the group is full of people doing some really cool shit in the fashion of a renegade, doing it differently. And if you want to join that, talk about the podcast, talk about various other bits and bobs when it comes to your sales and marketing, all you need to do is buy a copy of the book. That's wellfedbusiness.com/book. M82. It's darn good. And each copy gives you complimentary access to the Renegades group. There's no other way to get in. Alternatively, if you want to work with us privately, email Holly, HOLLY @wellfedbusiness.com. John's holding up a copy of the book for those that are watching. Oh, you're doing some ASMR.
Real words.
And I think That draws us to a close, big dog.
Cool. See you all next week.
Bye. See you all next week. Yeah, we're back now. We're back in the groove. I know it's been 3 weeks since we last did this, but it's a privilege for you when we do. So we'll hear no complaints. See you later, shaggers.
Or as I say, when I open my events, I realise what a privilege it is for you all to be here with me.
Exactly that.
And they all stop and think, hang on, he's just insulted us.
Yeah, it always takes a couple of seconds after you say that for a few chuckles to murmur.
I realise what a privilege it is for you all to be here with me.
Right. See you later.